I happened to grab a copy of Pressure Points, one of the books from their feature, and I'm really, this man does a ton of stuff too, so I'm not just going to go on about how amazing they are in the scene, and how everybody loves to hear them. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our phenomenal feature this evening. Give it up for Mr. Tom Roby!
Thank you, Janet, and thank you all for coming out. We are featuring Pressure Points, and anybody who has some spare change can negotiate a fair price in this fair country. So I have a bunch of different things in Pressure Points, poems about art, poems about family. I thought I would read a few of the family poems, starting with Seaworthy. Grandfather Eldridge never weighed anchor. He had to wear thick lenses to see the Great War in newsprint. His cunning lay in his hearing. He could hit on the crack in the ship's side before it appeared. For 50 years, his small silver hammer told him which vessels could sail and when they would leave port. He had nowhere to go for vacations. Summer and winter, he used his own ladders, turned a deaf ear to captains eager to slip him aged Scotch whiskies, Persian rugs, or a talking parrot. I could never pick out which of those echoing intervals told him what to report. I only knew as I leaned out the car window to follow his climb up the vast chime of the hull. He was the shipyard captain. I was his crew. Later on, we went to the local saloon where he bought me a Pepsi, downed half a bottle of bar scotch. After one summer storm, he slipped atop the catwalk of a dry dock, pitched 15 feet, tattooing the beams, ripping his fingers before he hooked the hammer to break his fall. The doctor said, when they untied the handkerchief and plunged the hand into pure antiseptic, he didn't make a sound. The ship that they set out, after he said no, sank in a calm sea. The investigation took 20 years. He told company agents who offered him Glenlivet, dancing girls, to change his tune at the hearing. He had sold the hammer to shore up his retirement. Once he had thought he might sail, packed his bag, walked out to meet the secretary at the wharf. But on the front porch of his home, the hammer must have hit something not quite right, and so he turned back to his dry dock. Seaworthy. A what?
The railroad poem?
The railroad poem. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want the train wreck. Okay.
My dad.
Yeah, my dad. Okay, he wants the dad. Granddad's not good enough for Dave, and so he has to have a dad.
Fine, don't do it then.
My dad, a train lover who never rode a train, engineered an exact scale landscape in the furnace room. The electric engine pulling coaches, private ones for his mistress, round and round it ran just ahead of Private Dick's bill collectors. He added a freight train with coal cars, flat cars that competed to be the first up a hillside shunt, drivers of the basement economy supporting a pastoral village, farms. He seemed to get shorter as we worked in closed spaces of his miniature world, so I helped him cut a pair of tunnels into the rec room. He added a luxury special, the 3 trains and their cars switching tracks with the precision, the envy of the 20th Century Limited. Silent at the dinner table, he became a fount of facts. Downstairs, looked up from his glued-together wreck for the approval of my grandfather, a railroad man, ignored Mom when she called us to see I Love Lucy. He filled up the basement with towns, factories, carried all the cows to the slaughterhouse, built switchbacks up the stairs into the kitchen, a bar train to carry drinks for his buddies, and left Mom, her girlfriends, to gossip about Lucy's divorce. He shrank until one day he didn't come out, vanished into his private coach to parts unknown, left Mom to axe that world track by track. Train wreck. Yeah, okay, so here is the opening poem, and in a sense comments on all these pieces. Family legend says, Uncle Charlie rode his way up from cabin boy to captain of industry with a windjammer guffaw and never lost the mile race in a 2-man scull. His world record will stay unbroken now that they no longer veer around a half-mile buoy, but compete on a straight course. On Sunday afternoons, I brought extra cactus needles to play his classic platters, Fingal's Cave Overture, The Sea and Sinbad's Ship, The Flying Dutchman. It made me feel I too could set sail and become a man of the world, hold my bourbon like Uncle Charlie. Once, while stacking the 78s on the spindle, I asked him, what do you think life's all about? He just chortled, but I let the next disc drop. Well, how about the music? Maybe it's there? Oh, that's your Aunt Lillian's. I never touched the stuff. It made me sick, but I had to put the records away, be polite, at their Sunday dinner. Okay, maybe this is about family portraits. Here's a little bit about me. It's a rondo for a novice Romeo. And it's a rondo, yes. I didn't know why your pace was so slow. When I was your passionate Romeo, who at the concert had practically made love to you on the balcony. Marked beats by Berlioz on the pillow of your thigh until intermission. Time to go past secret scents in autumn's park below my fretful bedroom, where I would see I didn't know. Introductory pianissimo, passion's progress in the longing rondo, and why in the world I would have to be keeping time unrushed between you and me, feeling 2 hands fused, Zephyr's softest flow. I didn't know. Yeah, here's a kind of companion piece to this. It's a picture poem, and it is love stains clean sheets. I'll bring that one around for you again. Maybe you can see it up here. It is kind of just in the form of a sheet and a stain. The stain is in bold. Love stains clean sheets. Here's one for my teaching career. It's called Learning Curve. My students get burnt out. Maria breaks her ankle landing from a second-story window. Her kids get smoke inhalation. I take attendance. Socrates is a pain. Too many questions give Billy Joe headaches. I dispense aspirin. Hakim and Booker are dazed by Du Bois, break the curve in the wrong direction. Keep on puzzling. I dole out grades. In 1 year, Diane and Lynn raised their reading levels from 5th to 9th grade, hoping to climb out of the remedial ghetto into college. I lead the cheers. My students, Master Faulkner, blaze out on curricular combustibles, come back the next day with scorched stares. I get burned out. Learning curve. Oh, and here's a fun one, learning curve of another kind. It's called Hold That Thought. Goro, my guru, once said if I could hang on to a thought 3 seconds, I would be well on my way to nirvana. And if I could keep that thought in mind for 3 minutes, I would be in nirvana. So I saw 3 as the magic jumper that really woke me up and got me stepping up to my Stairmaster to focus single-mindedly on the reflection in the window of the spider plant, which turned into the hairdo of the heartless girl who skipped out on me, the angry spider I wish I had sent her, a penitent parrot who gulped the spider, covetous cat that pounced the parrot, and on as ever more clearly the spider-planted thoughts got me panting to reach the still center where I could hang out with the fugitive reality. So after a good 3 minutes of keeping fit, I stepped down and scribbled this poem, which Goro read and annotated. Good work. You have only 179 seconds to go. Thank you. I know we've all had that experience with our yoga. And, here's the grandmother, my maternal grandmother, the wife of Seaworthy, who was a financier. When Grandma Cecil squeezed the household accounts, you could hear that eagle squeal. She never blew her stash on a bad roast or rotten potato. All the butchers ceased to haggle after long lines formed left before she got the best for the least. Her quick wit sliced any butcher's thumb that stayed on the scale. We feasted on her legendary roast beef for pennies. She called the market turns better than any stockbroker, buying low, selling high in her model portfolio that averaged 30% a year, while Grandpa Eldridge lost his shirt in offshore oil rigs, Cuban sugar, doled out a pittance for expenses. Once he wondered out loud why we couldn't have better cuts of beef. Next day she served him gristle, caged from the startled butcher, bragged to the family that it was top-of-the-line filet on sale, watched him chew through every bite with a look that said he could do even better if he cut the allowance anymore. Okay, here's a little aesthetics here for a change of pace. What Monet sees in his morning coffee. 1/2 moon, 2 full suns, shadowed edges, hide and seek in the half-drunk cup. That's what Monet saw. What did you see? Yeah. 1/2 moon, 2 full suns, shadowed edges, hide and seek in the half-drunk cup. Another short point. But who knows? Maybe this is one of the best lines in my poems. Killing my darlings. The best lines of my poems often wind up in the computer trash, leaving me to reconfigure the rest into a working whole. Time and again, I step on their crackling husks, dry mementos that lack fertility to seed new poems. Others hiss and claw at my ankles as I try to step over them on the way for a beer. Still others lie about hopelessly until they become dusty tangles of images swept under the rug. My recycle bin becomes a whining kennel where elder lines with the best pedigrees refuse to be poem broken, yet spawn new ones yapping to be taken home. It's not that it's cruel to sack and toss them off the bridge. Rather, I dread a void in some far-off poem will open beside a line that wants a brother or a sister. Then my inadequate gestations will force me to seek adoption, since the perfect one who took rejection to heart had fled to sell herself in a back alley to the New Yorker. It happens. I've tried to talk them into joining up for one great poem, but they refuse to play well together. The gorgeous, unintelligible metaphor snivels. If you understood me, you would take me to Hollywood. She slaps the groping graybeard, chanting, I am the answers, I, sage of all ages. Transcendental phrases float above the fray like cherry clouds in the sunset. Every corner hides confessional stanzas mumbling to themselves. Anti-war and anti-peace symbols clash picket the front lawn. If anybody has any use for my best lines, please take them off my hands. They're not doing me a bit of good, and I need to get on with my writing. Thank you. This is published by Janet, very kind of you, Janet. She published actually 1945, and then I developed a couple of parts later. Japanese. It's 3 dates in the islands out there. The rising sun. 1923. The Imperial Hotel sits on a bed of mud, but when earth quakes, it does not crack, just slightly sways as if a waiter might slip a bit. Set down 3 tiers of stacked plates, serve 5 tables in the aftershock. That was Frank Lloyd Wright's Imperial Hotel, which was the only building left standing in Tokyo after the 1923 earthquake. 1945, snow over Hiroshima, cream floats on coffee. And then more recently, 2011, after tsunami, red-haired girl sits, clutching knees, game of pickup sticks. Japanese.
CC&D, but that new one, 2011, is an upcoming issue of CC&D. It's going to be in the Chicago Pulse section.
Oh, yeah, right,
You got
okay.
there twice.
Well, all right, then I'm doubly blessed. I have even more to be proud of in my association with this wonderful venue. Okay, so here is something uplifting to counter that. Another family type poem called Preacher. Uncle Hal resolved to save everybody from eternal damnation by fire. Fire! Fire! Alarmed, the drowsy flock sought the exit sign to paradise. He rehearsed his choreography every day in front of a full-length dress mirror, staggering back aghast at the perfidy of sinners, striding forward to find my line. Striding forward to implore repentance, opening palms that promised forgiveness. His act was the light of the church with the neon heart in the window, his stage wider than CinemaScope. No small screen televangelist stretched as far as he to find the strayed lamb, a little girl lost in the wheat fields of Kansas. His handheld oil lantern led our thousand-eyed posse to the very edge of the platform where she is saved. He wanted to go into theater, but his deathbed mother, blue lips pursed over tart tongue, made him promise to serve the Lord. When Aunt Teresa announced he made the best lemonade in the church picnic, everybody whooped, "Amen!" Okay, so then we need something bound downbeat to balance that. Here's a void, and I sulk out of Amoco Building. Remember the Amoco Building out there? It's just in the VP now. Amoco Building into a concrete landscape. Lights in red, green proclaim our season's greetings. Purposeful people stride towards New Monroe underground parking. I slide across the icy streets past a dim-lit vacant lot. Hear rustles of fallen leaves under rumbles of tires rising from triple-tiered roads. Railroad tracks split, echo infinity, terminate in asphalt under stilted streets from where communities of trains once departed, speeding by busy horse farms to family peach picking, reminding me of toy tracks in younger Christmases, of Lionel freight trains chugging through tunnel boxes to deliver stocking stuffers on flat cars. Below, on faded fences, peeling placards of the vanished railroads threaten parked cars with towing charges. A passing wrecker, shadows, a street light. I must find my car. Void. Okay, so a couple more short ones and then I'll let you, the open micers back up here. I should say that that empty lot, Charlie, is where your friend and mine, the Blue Cross Blue Shield people are. But in those days, it was the New Monroe parking lot, which I understand is getting a facelift. Okay, here is one that you have been waiting for. On the 12th day of Christmas, the sanitation Santa Claus slings his sack onto a garbage truck. You get that? On the 12th day of Christmas, the sanitation Santa Claus slings his sack onto a garbage truck. Nope. That's stuff. That's stuff, and it's truth, which is my final point. Okay, truth. It's a villanelle, I think. Very philosophical. Because the truth is no, I'll start that over. Because the truth is infinite, I tilt the slats, but use their shade to let the light in bit by bit. I see my room becoming lit, its dreams, its verse, quests I've made because the truth is infinite. Philosopher's sophistic wit, urbane, obscure, left me afraid to let the light in bit by bit until I find we are all unfit to gaze at suns in full cascade because the truth is infinite. My scope extends, won't let me quit. I open more, expose charade by letting light in bit by bit. This is the view I will transmit. Make lesser slats, replace what's grayed. Because the truth is infinite, I'll let the light in bit by bit. Thank you.
You can walk away, but you can listen, because I grabbed at pressure points because I thought that, hold that thought. Yeah, I have 79 more seconds because 3 is a number because that's where Nirvana is. I think I might like that one. And we can put it in the Chicago Pulse section if you're willing to forward it. And what I was going to say, and this is just my own thought, if you could hold a thought for 3 seconds, you're on your way to Nirvana. But if you can hold it for 3 minutes, that would actually be Nirvana. And that is why I married John, because you put me in Nirvana, my love. You do. Love you. I'm starting to feel gooey.
Check them out.
You're awesome.
I have mind-numbing conversations.
And it's like Nirvana. No. So, but if you would want to give me, I just want to get that so I can remember the title. But send that off to us, and you could be on the Chicago Bulls. Yay! So thank you very much for that.